Welcome to the data overview for Bradwell Institute presented by LaShawn Lovett, high school history teacher at Bradwell Institute, also serving as the PBIS committee's data analyst for the past 3 years. This presentation was created for social studies teachers at Bradwell Institute as well as school department and board level administrators. The data presented may also be used to drive decision-making for school leadership teams and other committees at Bradwell. The purpose of the data overview is to analyze social studies, economic data, and U.S. history and economics to identify strengths and weaknesses and student learning problems that may negatively impact student achievement. The objective is to examine data collected over a 4-year period that will effectively inform decision-making processes as it relates to student achievement and retention at Bradwell Institute and within the Liberty County school system. First, we will examine the school and give a brief overview of the makeup of the school. Bradwell Institute is a Title I high school located in Hinesville, Georgia, which is near a military base. Bradwell Institute serves approximately 1,611 students in grades 9 through 12. Of those 1,611 students, 30% of those students identify as economically disadvantaged, 13% identify as a student with a disability, and 1% of the population identifies as an English language learner. In Liberty County school system, students from grades 4 through 12 have access to iPads. At Bradwell Institute, the school is 1-to-1 where all students have access to iPads and a multitude of resources for learning. Looking at the teacher demographic data at Bradwell Institute, on average, Bradwell has approximately 83 teachers. We do see a brief decline in the 2016-2017 school year where those numbers did drop to 79 teachers, certified teachers at Bradwell. Again, examining teacher data, we will see that the majority of teachers at Bradwell Institute are male. Looking further at teacher race and ethnicity, we will see that a majority of teachers, about 66% on average, are classified as white teachers. When we look at the student population, we will be able to see a difference in the student population, ethnic population, as compared to the teacher population, which do not mirror each other. Further looking at certified teacher data, we will see that the majority of teachers at Bradwell Institute have approximately 1 to 10 years of teaching experience, and we can see those numbers over a 4-year period. It would be nice to see that number broken down a little bit smaller to maybe 1 to 5 years and 6 to 10 years to see how many of those teachers have actually more than 5 years of teaching experience. Then we'll see that the majority of those, see what the majority of the teaching experience is at Bradwell Institute. Continuing to look at the demographics, we will begin looking at student population demographics. At Bradwell Institute, majority of the students are classified as African American. We will also see that those numbers are different as compared to the teacher population, which is predominantly white. In looking at the student population, we can begin to see a slight decrease in student population over the past 4 years, which we will look at further in the next slide. Student attendance. Here we are examining student attendance where we can see significant increases in student attendance over the 4-year period. Also, we want to take a look at chronic absences. The Governor's Office of Student Achievement defines chronic absenteeism as a student missing 10% or more of those enrolled school days. Here we see in the 2017-2018 school year that we see 27.3% of the total student population had missed at least 10% of or more of enrolled school days. That number declined by 7% in the 2018-2019 school year. However, that is something that we would definitely want to pay attention to, as missed instructional days can negatively impact student performance and achievement as well as content retention because the student is not present for that. Here we see that 43% in 2015-2016, and then looking into the future, 2018-2019, 45% of the total student population is identified missing 5 or fewer days of school. Looking further at student population data, we are again looking at the decrease in student enrollment, as well as a decrease in student enrollment by gender over the 4-year period. A decrease can also be seen here by gender, specifically with the male student population. Over time, we're seeing a decrease in those numbers from the 2015-2016 school year to the 2017-18 school year to the 2018-2019 school year, where those numbers continued to decline after increasing. Looking at the school graduation rate versus dropout rate and retention rate, we are seeing an increase in student graduation, a decrease in student dropout rate, and an increase in student retention rate, which all makes sense with regards to the student graduation rate increasing. There are less students dropping out, more students returning the next year, which obviously would lead to a higher graduation rate. Looking at student enrollment in different programs, we are analyzing or comparing an increase in student enrollment in special education programs, which would provide additional support, as well as those students being enrolled in gifted programs. Again, looking at the students with disability numbers increasing over a period of time, and the number of students who are classified as English language learners also increasing. In comparing student achievement data, first we want to examine student achievement data for economics. Again, students complete the economics EOC their 12th grade year. Here we are comparing school, district, and state level achievement. Bradwell Institute's economic data over a 4-year period shows some consistency with little growth at each level, with the exception of the 2017-2018 school year, where we are going to see a significant drop in student achievement at the level 4 or distinguished level. Those numbers are not necessarily consistent, but can also be seen at the district level. However, those numbers are not the same at the state level. At the state level, the numbers basically are consistent across the board from the previous year at 13%. Next, we want to examine U.S. History EOC data. U.S. History EOC data is somewhat similar to economics. The numbers increase and decrease from year to year. However, they are similar from the district to the school level, as well as at the state level. The numbers are more consistent. There is little to no gain in the proficient and distinguished levels at the district level and the state level, but a significant or a slight to somewhat significant increase can be seen here at the level 4 and level 3, or the proficient and distinguished level at the school. So although we don't see much of a change here at the district level and then at the state level, we are seeing an increase in distinguished and proficiency in the U.S. History EOC exam at the school level. So here again, we are analyzing the state level, where the numbers are pretty consistent from year to year at the level 4, level 3, and the level 2 and 1, where the numbers slightly fluctuate by 1% or 2 at those levels. In summary, overall, state assessment data for Bradwell Institute, U.S. History and Economics exams have been seen a slight increase at the proficient and distinguished levels. However, they have been mostly consistent over the past 4 years. We do see a increase in students being enrolled as a student with disability, which could positively impact their achievement, academic achievement, as they are receiving accommodations and other supports to assist with their learning needs. Overall, Bradwell Institute's EOC achievement data is somewhat similar to that of the district and the state. Teachers, school administrators, data team, and other committees should find this information invaluable when seeking to identify areas of improvement as it relates to school CCRPI. For discussion, I would like teachers and administrators to consider the following questions. What can we do as teachers and administrators to better assist our students? Are the practices that we're using currently being implemented? Are those practices actually working for our students? And examining the student attendance information, what can we do to better assist those students that are experiencing chronic absences? Should we continue to drill down into that data to see what exactly is causing those absences so we can better support those students? What measures can be taken to identify those solutions for those chronic absences? Also, if we are identifying student attendance as a weakness and a negative contributor to student achievement, how can we improve that student attendance? This information can be further used and should be further used and analyzed and discussed in other committees to better understand how we can improve student performance, student achievement overall. Thank you.